Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second podcast. We posted the first one yesterday along with our update. We are your heartily millennials. My name's Adam Hansen.
And I am Matthew Lynn.
And we are young, dumb, and full of
opinions.
Hell yeah, we are.
So, Adam, how are you feeling today, man?
Dude, it's kind of surreal. We've put in a lot of work into this the past few months, and to have the kind of successful launch that we did.
Guys, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We surpassed all expectations on our launch. The last time we checked, guys, the update video had over 200 views on it, which is out of this world. We don't even know 200 people.
Yeah, we were honestly just expecting, we would have been happy with 30 views. We would have been like, yeah, we got
that
30
would have been
views.
High end. Yeah, it's just, you guys are so excited about it, and it's making us excited.
Yeah.
We just appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
That's the crazy thing. There were people who were excited about this before we even had any content up. People just liked the idea. A lot of people just honestly liked the name.
The name it's pretty solid, isn't it?
People just heard the name and they're like, oh, what is that? Well, let us tell you. You know what? No, let us show you.
Oh man, it's crazy. This is funny. So I have a niece and a nephew that live far away from where I do, but we keep in touch, and they called me yesterday and they were just going nuts, man. They were like, Uncle, we're flipping out right now because you're a YouTuber now, and we want to be YouTubers. So, a little context: they're like 12 and 10, right? So my sister has been telling them for the past year or two that you can't make a living doing YouTube because they, of course, they want to grow up and be YouTubers, right? So they're not even focused on anything else. And so my sister was like, thanks a lot, Matthew. You had to go out and start a YouTube channel, didn't you?
Oh, man.
So that was funny. I enjoyed that.
People don't, there are people out there like that, though, who don't feel that this is a legitimate job, a legitimate career path.
I mean, come on. It's kind of out of the ordinary. Well, at least for us, how we grew up, anymore, it's not really that crazy.
There are, just as you said, there are people growing up now who, what do you want to be when you grow up, Jimmy? Oh, well, I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be an internet personality. That's a very plausible thing to want to be.
You know what's funny is the kids hardly talk about Hollywood anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so often they want to be a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer. That one's really cool too. None of them want to be like an actress or a star in the movies. That's old school now, man.
We're the age of Netflix now, man. We're the age of internet streaming and Netflix and all of those things.
Isn't that crazy? It's like everyone's an actor now.
Well, the thing with like media and movies is they're like books now, right? At one point, because you couldn't, there was no printing press at one point. So like books were like a commodity. When you had them, you had to handwrite a lot of them. So when the printing press was invented, books blew up and there were famous authors, things like that. Well, now what are books? Books are, there's millions upon millions, billions even of books.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So
everyone can be an author.
Yeah, anybody can be an author. And so we're just reached that point in the film industry now where at one point it was very fresh. Not a lot of people knew how to do it. So if you got involved in it, it was rather easy because you just had to have the smallest knowledge because it was growing. It was a growing industry. And now it's reached the point that books did, and it's a diluted industry. There's millions of movies out there, and you'll never watch them. And anybody can really do it now because we have phones that can shoot in 4K, and you can buy adapters for putting lenses on your phone.
So it's the technology. As the technology advances,
absolutely,
it becomes easier to get into it, and we create a new industry.
And the new books and the new movies right now is this new media, the internet industry. That's what it is.
It's super exciting, dude.
So I wanted to jump on this while it was in its early stages, much like when the printing press was invented and the video camera was invented, and be like, all right, well, this is another one of those times. So if you want to jump on it.
So with that being said, do you think, I mean, this is all speculation, who knows the future, but do you think that it will continue being YouTube? I know it's a little bit of a itchy issue. You know what I mean? I know some people have different views on YouTube and how it's kind of conducted itself and done things in the past.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is kind of just, I mean, that's how it works. Right now it's YouTube because there's nothing else. Plus I think we have to stop looking at it as like YouTube creates its own content, but I don't know how to describe it because it's new media and the internet is kind of its own thing at this point because you have YouTube that creates its own content, but it also allows people to post content on YouTube. And YouTube
Yeah.
doesn't market it as their content per se.
Well, it's not like Netflix, where Netflix you have originals from them that they
Right.
actually produce and make.
Well, and
whereas
that's-
YouTube is like a platform.
Right. Well, and that's kind of the difference with like when the film industry was first coming up because you had these different studios that were putting out just their content that was, oh, this is obviously a Paramount movie. This is obviously this.
Warner Brothers, whatever. Yeah.
Well, and they do it now in the sense to where like they buy other things, right? So when you think of Harry Potter or the DC universe, you think of Warner Brothers because they own it. Marvel, you think of Disney because they own it.
Oh, Disney.
Yeah.
Those guys are phenomenal.
They're the ones that, and they weren't even around at the very start of the film.
They're going to be the hardest ones for us to take over,
Yeah,
quite honestly. Disney, I'm a little afraid of them.
but at the same, well, Disney's always been very good at getting involved in whatever the new kind of media outlet is.
Yes.
And they tried to do it with new media also with PewDiePie. I am not sure on all the details, but I know with
I've heard a little about that in the past.
And
I didn't follow it too closely.
Yeah, for those who don't know, PewDiePie is the #1 subscribed channel on
Just in case you don't
YouTube.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the king. He's
He has like 73 million subscribers.
He's not even the king. He's the emperor. He
Yeah.
literally, YouTube is his empire, and he resides over it all.
And he's
Shout out, by the way, bro.
yeah, shout
Love to
out.
have you on one day.
But yeah, go check out his stuff. You'll
You'll have opinions.
You'll
for
have
sure.
opinions about it for sure. But anyways, Disney, I know there was some controversy where Disney wanted to strike a deal with PewDiePie to basically kind of make him a subsidiary of Disney in some way,
Okay.
shape, or form. Which, I mean, it would
Man,
make
that's a hell of a deal.
it would make
That's
sense to go to
life-changing.
PewDiePie, like go to the one who's the #1 subscribed user.
Sure.
But there was a controversy. They broke things off with him. The point is that Disney keeps trying to get involved with new things. It was like when that's why they bought Star Wars. Like, we can franchise the
They
shit
just
out of
bought
this.
Star Wars. They were like, yeah, we have some money laying around. What do we want to buy, guys? And then someone in the room was like, how about Star Wars?
Like, yeah, okay, we can get that.
You got to imagine the exact, is that even for sale? Like, can we buy Star Wars? And they were
Right.
like, fuck it, let's just try. And they did.
And they did.
Now they own it.
Now they have Star Wars. They have Marvel. And the thing is,
They were like, let's just fucking buy Marvel. Just
Yeah.
why not? Let's just buy it.
but the thing is, you can't even hate Disney for it
Oh, I
because
love them.
because they buy this stuff and they make it into these great like pieces of cinema.
Oh, yeah. Disney
like the
blows it
Marvel
out of the park.
universe. Like that's all a Disney thing. Creating a Marvel universe, like
yeah.
it's wild.
They make a
watching it
theme park
happen.
out of it. You can visit.
Yeah,
they're
it's-
geniuses. We all bow to them.
So what do you think will in this new age of media? What do you think will happen with Disney? Do you think they'll eventually die because of it, or do you think, like, what do you think will happen?
I think that someone's going to come around
Uh-huh.
in the new media scene, and they're going to try to do something different with it.
Okay.
They're probably going to take a step back and look a little bit more at the bigger picture of it all and try to incorporate that into it somehow. And I think that big studios like Disney and Warner Brothers and whatnot will see this new entity coming up and will try to mimic it and use that success. So basically, a new entity will come up, they will create a new business model that the older businesses will take on.
Well, and do you think Disney will be able to mimic that process and thrive because of it, or do you think?
Oh yeah, historically they always have been able to. So
guess
why
that's
not?
true,
Why
yeah.
not? Yeah, if I had to bet on anyone, I would probably bet on Disney. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I guess that would
they'll
make
pay
sense.
respect to whatever it is.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the next natural step in that would be like I feel like Disney would either have to come up with a competing website for you to go against YouTube,
Well, I'll also
or they'd
say,
have to buy Google.
well, that's not going to happen. Google's much more expensive than Disney. It has money, I believe. So, I kind of lost it there, bro. I had a little something for you.
Oh.
And it just ran away from me.
Well, we were talking about Disney
okay.
possibly buying it.
Oh, I remember it now. Here it goes, guys. It's hard to get old. So I will say that I don't think YouTube is the last step in new media platforming. I do think that someone will inevitably try to make something that competes with it. And I do think YouTube will probably be number one for a long, long time. Because they have so much funding, dude. Come on, it's all about money. But I think there will be a number two that gets very popular.
I think this new media and the internet and everything is going to evolve in a way that like we didn't even see coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
everything always does.
Like everybody, I guess that's true. Like everything that people think that new media could possibly become is like not going to be what it becomes. But that's the exciting thing. That's why I wanted to get involved with it, because I'm like, whatever it turns into, I want to be a part of that. I want to be there. Yeah. Yes. I want to say I saw that part.
And we want to take you guys there with us.
Yeah.
Because why not bring some friends along, right?
We want you to build it with us. You're literally helping us. You're just as much a part of this as we are, really.
Yeah.
But
we're only small parts of this, really. We're just the voices.
We really are, yeah. Really, when you think about it. But it's exciting, though. Let me tell you, man, I cannot wait to turn this bedroom into a studio. I'm getting so tired of all the 8 crates, and we put this on. You'll see this on a vlog later on, guys, but my bedroom right now is like only the corner of it is that really nice foam that you saw in our update video. And then there's just 8 crates lining the rest of the wall.
A forest of egg crates.
And then we have 3 lights set up. We have another table in here. Then we have my queen size bed with a dresser. So needless to say, it's a little cozy in here.
It's definitely cozy. Oh, we did learn one new thing today. If you're ever going to shoot a podcast or any kind of footage in a room, don't turn the heater on for about 10 minutes before you start.
Especially in my room.
Because you will be shooting in the pits of hell after that. It is so hot in here today, guys.
And it's funny, I literally only had it on for a couple minutes, but my room is just so well insulated.
It feels like a dragon sneezed in this bedroom and then walked out, and then we started shooting.
So it's very cozy right now in here is what's happening.
So I had a funny thought today while sitting on the couch, and I wanted to ask you about it here on the podcast, because what better place? So the Hardly Millennials, you guys will see him in the vlogs too. We have a dog. We have a household dog.
Yep.
And he's an English bulldog, and we love him.
His name's Cowboy.
His name's Mr. Cowboy, specifically, yes. He also goes by Mr. Man. He will come to that as well. So Cowboy loves to be touched and pet in any way at all. You could accidentally bump into him and he will love you.
Mm-hmm.
So it got me thinking, so many animals love to be pet all the time.
Right.
And like humans don't really love to be pet all the time like that, right? It's kind of a thing.
True.
So what's so different about animals? And then I got to thinking, like, what if they're just itchy all over their entire body all day long? And the only relief that they get, these poor things, is just when humans touch them. Right? Like, it's not about love or affection at all. They just want us to scratch their itch.
And they just have to hope that you get the right spot.
Yeah, just for a minute.
I mean, that's an interesting theory, but like, why? Like, for example, I feel like evolution for humans, part of the reason why we evolved the way that we did, and you can argue this with other, primates also.
Sure.
Was so that we had the tools to be able to scratch ourselves,
well,
right?
We can scratch anywhere, right? Except like the middle of our back.
But that's what I'm saying. So like, why would an animal such as like a dog or a cat, if they evolved, like... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, I just feel like they wouldn't evolve.
You think they don't itch?
Not in the same way.
So they didn't need to evolve to scratch themselves?
Yeah, or at least not itchy in the certain place. Because like you see animals like scratch themselves all the time. They'll do it by rubbing themselves on. So they do find ways around it. They'll rub themselves on the carpet.
Maybe
or
there's just
dogs.
nothing like 5 fingers though, like just the way because we can move each finger and really get in there.
I think they look at it as like how we view massages. Yeah.
Messages.
Messages.
Massages, guys.
Like, because we really enjoy like shoulder rubs and things like that, and back massages that you'll get.
Sure.
And I feel like animals, that's what petting is to them. You're massaging them, and so it just feels good. Why wouldn't you want? If somebody just randomly came up to you, start massaging your shoulders, you'd be like, all right, cool.
Would I?
Would you?
Would I? I'm not sure that would be my
Maybe
instant reaction.
Not a stranger. I'm not talking about just a random guy.
I feel like that's what you said. I
you.
feel like you're like if a stranger just walked up and started massaging your
No.
shoulders.
Well, let me retract that statement.
Okay, try again.
And say if somebody you knew came up to you and just started massaging your shoulders.
Like if I just walked up behind you one day and just started getting in there, just giving you
Free massage, right?
real
The hell
good.
not. People pay hundreds of dollars for that shit.
the things you learn about people at a podcast. I'm good to know that.
Just, yeah. Massage
So-
my shoulders, Matthew.
I'm gonna have to just set the record straight that I don't think I would love that. Yeah, I don't think everyone feels.
You
the
don't
same
want
way
a
about
free
that.
massage?
What do you think, guys? What would you do if we just walked up and started massaging your shoulders?
Leave in the cut.
Is that okay?
If somebody you knew walked up to you and started just massaging you on the shoulder, somebody you were comfortable with, I feel like you'd just be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
Animals are just comfortable with everybody, so.
So then let's assume for a moment that animals are incredibly itchy. Okay. And that petting them is the only way that they can just scratch this itch for a moment.
Okay.
So that would mean that there's an entire spectrum of animals, most animals that are wild, right?
Right.
And they don't live around humans. So are those animals just doomed to be itchy for all of their days?
No, because I feel like
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But I feel it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, that animals always find a way to itch themselves, or just itch them. Do you itch a scratch or do you scratch an itch? You scratch an itch, right?
I think the verb is scratching.
Scratching. So
Yes.
they'll find a way to scratch themselves, like I think giant jungle cats just kind of.
Giant jungle cats?
Yeah, like tigers and panthers will just like rub against tree trunks and shit like that. They're they're
come to
cats.
Sri Lanka. See the giant jungle cats.
Is that essentially what they are?
I've never heard them called that. That
Giant
sounds
jungle
great.
cats.
That sounds great. Speaking of cats, on that spot, I had someone recently tell me, because me and Adam, we own cats. We're those guys.
We love them too.
They're great. I never thought I would be a cat owner.
I
so
never
weird.
thought I would get as attached to an animal as I have been to this particular cat.
The cats are great, but a thing that I recently learned about cats is that they're the only domesticated house pet who have been found to actually so if some crazy shit happens and you die in your house, okay, let's just put ourselves there for a moment. So you're dead, you're in your house, great. And you just fed your cat right before you died, right? Like you're pouring the food in the bowl, have a heart attack, your brain explodes, you're done.
Right.
Right? So the cat will eat their food for a day, right? But they won't eat all of it. And before they are out of their own cat food, they will actually begin to eat the human. They'll eat you.
I've heard that.
And then when you're all gone, they'll go back to their cat food. It's like they don't want to run out of the good stuff.
I've heard that before.
What the hell's up with that?
So it's because cats have been domesticated a lot. What's the correct verbiage I'm looking for? A lot less time than dogs have been
Like a shorter amount of time
A shorter
than dogs.
amount of time. Like dogs trump all the animals as far as domestication. But cats are there, but they're still really behind dogs.
So they haven't gotten to the we don't eat them part?
Right. So what they've
Okay.
not necessarily that we don't, because a dog will eventually, if you died in your house and you had a dog will eventually eat you also.
Really?
Yeah, but what it is like if you have a cat and a dog, your cat is going to start eating your carcass a lot sooner than your dog is going to. Your dog will mourn for you. A cat won't mourn for you.
You know, in the cat's defense, if I was trapped in my house and could not get out, would I not do the same thing? Honestly, I would begin by eating the human food.
Right.
But before I ran out of human food, I'd eat the cat.
Oh, I mean,
I'm sorry to say it, guys. I know it's horrible. I'd eat the cat. I would start by eating Adam's cat, obviously.
Don't do that. Your cat's more meatier.
But she's
let's
cute.
kill your cat
She's
first.
beauty. I love her.
I love
I'd eat
my
her.
cat.
I don't care. I'd eat
We'll
her.
just eat the dog first.
Oh, Cowboy goes first for sure.
There's
He would be.
a lot of muscle on that dog.
Oh, and
though.
he's aged too.
He's aged.
That's terrible. We love all our
We,
pets,
we
guys.
do, guys.
We would never do
we
that.
promise. We just like dark humor sometimes.
But yeah, the world's ending. Can't get out. My door's locked from the other side. I'm
Ran
doomed.
out of food.
I'm eating the cat for sure. Tortoises too. Mm.
I feel like if something like that happened, again, hypothetically, if you're locked in your house, right? You couldn't get out. There was no way for your animals to get out or anything. You run out of food.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you would have to eat your animal before you ran out of food because your animal would probably run out of food before you do. So if you waited
Well,
until
you'd have
you
to do
run
the
out
math
of food,
and eat them at the optimal fat content point, so you get the most bang for your buck. Of course.
oh my gosh, we're horrible.
But then doing that math burns calories too. So now you're going backwards.
So,
Oh, what a terrible situation to be in.
what a gray area.
Well, that won't be today. Luckily,
Oh my
today is
God.
not the day.
That should be the
That
title episode for this.
Today is not the day.
Today's not the day, or something about eating animals.
I love it. So I recently, I was out in a social situation, and I have this habit where anytime I do something, I like to tell everyone I know about it.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. I like people to talk about the things I'm doing. It's
Okay.
just a weird thing I have. So I was out, and I was talking about how I was reminiscing on being back in school.
Okay.
Okay. And I was talking about how I was in gate classes when I was in school. Mm-hmm. And the person I was with just
Wait,
immediately.
what are gate classes?
Oh, so gate, I don't remember what it stood for, but it was like advanced classes, right?
Oh,
so like
okay.
you would go to school and then you get pulled out for a few hours and you go with like 12 other kids and you were like the
Oh.
cream of the crop of the school and you got to go to like this special class, right?
Okay, we had those too, but we called it something different. But go
Whatever.
on.
So the person I was with just looked at me and was like, "Of course, Matthew. Of course you were in gate classes. Tell me more about it."
Right.
You know. And so I did. And I just started to remember all these really fun like projects we used to do in gate class. So like I still remember the teacher and everything. She was Miss Ballesteros. She was great. She's great. And I don't even remember if that was actually her name. I might be saying it wrong.
What a
But
fun name if it was.
I was in like 4th grade and girls still had cooties, but not Miss B. She was so beautiful. It was like my first crush. It was great. And we went to class, and one day she was up at front, and it was me and like the 6 other kids, and we always got made fun of. It was actually, at the time, it was horrible to be part of Gate because you just got chastised by all the other kids, right? Mm-hmm. So I would go, and she told us this one day that we were going to be making paper.
Okay.
Okay. So she had all these buckets with this water and these like screens with like 2x4s and then
did this.
screen in between it and all these like mallets, right?
I did this project.
And she was like, "We're literally."
You're making like parchment, right? It was like more of a parchment.
It was like a
right?
thick like cotton
Had a little
paper
like
when you were done.
sprinkles and stuff.
Bro,
in it.
we
Yeah.
literally sat there all day and we shaved wood and then we like soaked it in water to make it pulp. And then you just beat the shit out of this pulp for
Right.
hours, right? And then you run it through all these different screens and you beat the shit out of it. So when you run it through, and when you're all done, you take like an entire 2x4, a whole fucking thing, and you turn it into like one little 4x6 sheet of paper. It's crazy.
I had one of those.
And then of course you draw something on it, right?
we did this whole thing, and it actually wasn't for school. It was like Kids Corner, which was like the after school babysitting program thing at my
Oh
elementary
yeah, I
school.
remember those.
And we did that where you did this, you made paper, and then I think Mother's Day or something was coming up. So it was like we all chose like a poem for our moms.
Oh, how
and
cute!
did
I bet your
that.
mom still has it.
Oh yeah, I bet she does. She actually has all of my old school projects.
Really, like in a box
We
somewhere?
have this tub in our hallway closet that's just sat there for years.
Oh,
just
that's
years.
adorable, Adam.
And so yeah, sometimes I'll go through it, like I'll be looking for something and I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go through this today." And I remember till this day what the very first project I ever did in school ever, and it was in kindergarten, obviously, and it was you took an acorn and you cut off like one of the lines of the acorn and you made it into a caterpillar. So you painted it.
Oh, that's
and
so
then,
cute. You like fold it over each other?
No, you don't even fold it over.
You just
each other.
use
It's
that
just
as like the
line.
legs.
Yeah, it's just like the
Aw.
line. Yeah, and then so you put little pipe cleaner like feelers on it, and
Bro, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They had us decorating rocks and shit in my school.
oh, we did
had
stuff
low
like that
funding.
also. Did you ever have one of those trucks, like those like art trucks, come to your school and like they would take a class into it, and you would do like a special art project that would take a few days?
No, that sounds amazing though.
So our school did that, but it was only for like the 6th graders. So the 6th graders are the only ones who got to participate in this. When we got
Assholes.
older.
Why are
Yeah.
they the only ones?
I don't know.
Fuck.
But it's funny. So we did this thing where they paired you up with somebody in class and you went outside and you took this picture, just a selfie or something, right?
Right.
Before
There was no
selfies
such
were
thing as
selfies.
selfie back then. But yeah, we get it.
But so you did that, and then you went inside, and then they were showing you how to make like 3D pictures. Now, 3D in the sense of you put yourself into this computer program, and then you can color different parts of it and put different little stickers in there
like
that are
Paint.
different colors. Yeah, and then
Microsoft Paint.
Well, that's the funny part, because then you put on 3D glasses, and then it was like you look at it and different
Oh, that's
colors
fucking
would pop
awesome,
out.
dude.
Yeah,
You went to a cool school.
yeah.
My school didn't have that shit.
Arguably, but we would then have I think back to it now, and I'm like, oh, they were just having us use Photoshop. Like that was just like an early.
was just Photoshop.
It was just like an early stage of Photoshop that
Yeah,
these
dude.
like 16-year-old kids would go around to elementary schools and be like, "This is Photoshop."
We had to do this
Here's
for
how
an
to make
A.
your hands become 3D.
It's still cool, whatever.
Yeah, I had a good time.
So my elementary school was very conveniently located, just a few doors down to the fire department. Mm-hmm. They were like right there on the same street. So my school would just cheese it every year and just invite the fire department. So we always had fire trucks there. They would always come and like put the gear on us, because it was a small town, dude. There was no fires going on. They had nothing to do.
Right.
So they would just come and entertain us. And I remember like towards the end of elementary school, 4th or 5th grade, they actually built like this trailer that they would tow on the back of the fire truck. And it was big, dude. It was a big fucking trailer. Okay. Talking like maybe 20 feet long and 6 feet wide. Like this thing is huge.
Right.
And what they did is on the inside of it was like a few rooms that they built. There was like a bed, like a bedroom, like a little kitchen build up, like a hallway kind of thing. And they would fill this bitch with smoke. All right. And then they would take these elementary school kids and they'd be like, all right, make your way through it now. We're going to show you what it's like to be in a house filled with smoke.
That's fun.
All right. It was badass, dude. So, of course, the first thing they asked, they're like, does anybody have asthma? And they don't, because the thing is with kids, if you tell them, like, we have this amazing, incredible prize for you, all right, and you're seconds away from being a part of it, but you can't be in it if you have asthma.
Right.
All the kids will lie. They'll be like, no, I'm fine. I can breathe. It's just fine. So before they got there, they told us, they were like, they didn't tell us anything about it. And they're like, does anyone here have asthma? So, of course, all the kids who have it are like, me, because they want to get talked about, right?
Right.
Well, the teachers fooled them. They're like, okay, all you asthma kids, you go stand over there. They're like, they segregated the asthma kids. And they're like, everyone else, get ready for the best day of your life.
Oh,
It was
man.
great. So, like, all the asthma kids got to, like, have recess all day, which they can't really enjoy because they have asthma anyway, right? It was pretty terrible.
Right.
And all the other kids, who was me, got to go run through the fun house of smoke. And at the time, and then they get made fun of. So at the time, it was funny. But now looking back, I'm like, what a terrible thing the teachers did to those poor kids.
I mean, I guess you really don't have a choice. Nobody wants a lawsuit on their hands.
Well, no.
Right?
Dude, this thing was cool, though. It was legit like you were in a smoky house. Like you had to get down on the floor and crawl and shit.
See, they never did stuff like that with us, but I do remember several times the fire department. I think, again, this was the kids' corner thing I was at. And a few times the fire department would show up during the hotter seasons, and then we'd all be out there. We had this giant like basketball court with like several hoops down.
Oh yeah.
And the fire department would come, and they'd be standing on the opposite end of the basketball court, and then they'd take their hose, they'd hook it up to the fire hydrant.
No way.
And then they would just do it like straight in the air, and then it would just fall and basically cover the entire court.
Oh, that's super
and so
cool.
We little kids are just running around barefoot. You're like, oh my gosh, it's water.
That's badass.
Just having a grand old time. But yeah, we used to do a lot of cool
It'd be funny
things.
if they just like accidentally for a second, one of the firefighters was like, watch this, guys, and like aimed it down and just blew all you guys off the fucking basketball court. I was like, whoops.
That's called a lawsuit.
Yeah, no, you can't do that to people. It's not nice.
Could especially not do that these days. Everybody's so sue happy anymore.
Just sneeze. Just come and be like, achoo. Just blow like 6 kids off the court.
Sorry, guys. My mistake.
That's terrible.
No, man. I had like thinking back, I had a pretty good time during my school years. I guess I'm one of the lucky ones where it's like, I mean, I was bullied a little bit, through the years, but oh yeah.
Really?
A little bit.
You grew up to be pretty gorgeous. Joke's on them.
Well, thank you. Well, I think a lot of it was I was always just like a little more stockier than like your average person.
You're a fat kid?
No, I wasn't a fat kid.
It's okay, Alvin. We love you still, bro.
You could... No, well, I will say this. So during the years where I actually like recall being like bullied in any way, shape, or form, like I was definitely not a fat kid. But during the periods where I was a fat kid, like...
That's when you had it going on?
Yeah, I had like nothing.
Your mojo swelled with it.
But like, it was a crazy bully. But like I said, I'm one of the lucky ones. I had a good time during my whole 13 years of school. Even college I had a good time in.
I didn't do the college thing. I jumped right into podcasting. Some said I was a fool. I'll let you make your own opinion about that. So I do remember, though, that I was never bullied in school. No. I was always, strangely, and I don't even know why, I was always a cool kid. Mm-hmm. I was always like one of the popular kids.
I was always popular also, but there were select few where my personalities can be a little like feminine and flamboyant sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally, bro.
And so I always got like, faggot or you're gay or this, that, and the other thing.
Rude.
And they'd get angry at me because I would just basically agree with them. I'd just be like,
just take the fire
like
out
I would,
from under
yeah,
them.
like I would say something like, I'm just gay for you. Like shit like that, or like bend over and I'll show you just how gay I am, and nobody liked that.
Well, no, now you're turning it around.
So yeah, so now it just made them go harder and harder with it. And I'm somebody where it's like, if I absolutely have to fight, I will, but I'm still going to try to avoid it at all costs.
I don't like confrontation if I can help it.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of it.
So, and I think people saw that also and were like, oh, well, I can poke him just a little bit more. And, well, I can only take so many pokes.
Right. We all have a poke limit.
But just
weird,
little
though.
Things like that.
I had lots of things to get made fun of about, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, guys, you have to understand, I have Tourettes Syndrome. Mm-hmm. So I grew up, I was the kid who twitched and tweaked and made noises, and it was so weird. No one ever made fun of me for it. I'm sure, well, now I'm on the internet, so I'm sure. Let the insults rain. But
the thing with your Tourette's syndrome, though, and this is just what I've noticed from living with you now and being around you as often as I have been, is I think it's much more naturally noticeable to you than it is to everybody else. Because, well, like I said, when I first met you, I didn't even know you had Tourette's syndrome. The only way I found out was because at that particular point you had a tick that was making a noise, and that's the only
Yeah.
reason why I knew. But anything where it's just like facial movements and little twitches,
You think that what? You think, oh, he's just stressed today?
I never noticed it.
Really?
It wasn't even that I like noticed and thought it was something else. Like I just
crazy.
did not notice.
So I've had a lot of people tell me that actually.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I notice it. Because
Right.
like, you see the world through like this frame that's your eyes, right?
Right.
And you're like, you have all this stuff going on in your head. Everyone knows how it feels to be alive, right? So I'm like hypersensitive to it. I can see it. And then when I see myself like on camera and stuff, I don't look at myself often. So I really notice it. But most people tell me, they're like, I didn't even know you had it, man.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
If you had never told me, or Justin had never told me, I would have been none the wiser that you even had it.
Well, cat's out of the bag, guys.
Cat's out of the bag.
Verified.
Everyone knows now.
I am a Tourette's kid. Yep.
Man.
So, but I never got made fun of for it, bro. It was really cool. I always had a lot of friends. They were very supportive.
You did well during the update also. I didn't
Thank
notice
you.
anything like
Thank you.
during the update or anything like that.
I think that it's the power of the viewers. I think that's what it is.
The more viewers we have, we're just going to cure you, Matthew.
You guys need to view and like and subscribe to cure my Tourette's. That's what it is.
I have seen.
We'll get fallout for that.
Yeah, right. I have seen a few things though in regards to things like Tourette's syndrome or like stuttering or these other kind of things that people have. There was this TED Talks I saw of this woman who had a super bad stutter.
Oh, yeah.
So even during this TED Talk, she's trying to talk and get her point out, but it just like like that every other word. But what she was the whole point of the TED Talk was, but when I play and sing music, I don't stutter at all.
Oh, weird.
Because
Okay.
it was now she's the way she described it is now she's like using a different part of her brain to create the music and to sing. So because of that, her stutter wasn't there. So maybe that's the case with a lot of these kind of syndromes.
Maybe when I shoot footage, it's not there. I'm using like a different part.
You're focusing on other things.
What's hilarious that you bring up stutter. So in high school, I was the Tourette's kid, and my best friend actually had a really bad stutter. So I was twitchy, and he would stutter. We weren't called that, obviously, but just I had the act of twitching, and he had the act of stuttering. And there was two things that was very interesting. He could say very long words like Mississippi, conventional notation, whatever. Like he could say stuff like that, no problem.
Right.
But like and the for any of those like little words in between is what he got caught up on a lot.
Interesting.
Also, he could rap. Like he could make up his own raps and not stutter at all, and he could sing raps that other people did. Like famous songs and stuff, and he'd be fine.
See, I think it's just because you're using a different part of your brain when you're trying to actively be creative.
Yeah.
And guys, we are pretty genuine. Like the update that you guys watched, we're pretty genuine on there, but there were things that we had to like script and make sure that we were doing correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And it's much more of a creative process than I expected it to be.
We really thought that we could just get in front of a camera and shoot for 10 minutes and
you
it would
know
work.
what? And you know what? We tried.
That was attempt one, guys.
And we realized
It did not turn out well.
It did not turn out well. Nope.
No, there is a huge amount of background work that goes into it.
But it's a lot of fun. If you're into it, it is a lot of fun.
Well, it's nice that we do have really supportive roommates too.
Yeah.
Which is very helpful. I think a lot of creative people have a really good vision. They might even have a really good brand. And maybe they even go as far as they get really good equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. But maybe they're younger. They still live with their parents or an aunt or something who has a different lifestyle going on. Like maybe you can't make noise in your house after 8 p.m. Or maybe, and I feel like so much creativity gets stifled because of circumstances. Like you have this wonderful idea, but you're not able to create it and show it to people.
Right.
And luckily for us, we find ourselves in a situation where we have what we think is a good idea, and we also have the freedom to build that idea at any time of the day.
Yeah.
And so I think that our roommates are a big part of our success.
I agree. I truly believe I got lucky with the roommate situation that I've been, I don't want to say stuck with, but I have stuck with. Like you guys will see him on the vlogs a little bit, but we live with another gentleman who actually owns the house, named Justin. And I've actually lived with Justin for like 3 or 4 years now.
Oh yeah, you guys are almost married at this
Yeah,
point.
almost married at this
Almost
point,
legally
right?
married.
But we met in Los Angeles. I moved back to Arizona, and then he moved here, and now we have been living together for a while. And what we always tell people, though, is just the reason why we've remained roommates for so long is it's just easy.
It just works.
As somebody who has lived in a lot of places with a lot of different people, like, I mean, and you guys out there know it. We've all had issues with roommates if you've ever had roommates.
So let me ask real quick on the point of issues and roommates. Are there any techniques that you use in particular to keep those issues at bay? Or is it just supernatural? Like, did you just find a perfect person?
I think it was just more natural.
Really?
Yeah. I just met somebody who just had the same, like, we're just laid back is really what it comes down to. And we don't get caught up on petty things.
But after 4 years, like everyone starts out laid back. It's like the honeymoon phase.
I go into every single time I know I'm going to be living with somebody for a long period of time. I go into it knowing that at some point there is going to be an issue.
So there's a technique right there. You
Right.
have realistic expectations
Yes.
about it. You
Yes.
understand that, live it up while we can in the beginning, but it'll get to a point that's hard.
Yeah, there was even a point I lived in an apartment with my brother, and I've lived at home with my with my brother and my parents for years growing up. But I
Right.
knew that even though we were older and we were getting an apartment together, I knew at some point there was going to be some kind of issue. Just because when you're around somebody, as long as you are, there just is. But
Absolutely.
but that's what creates stronger bonds between people and things also, because if you can move past those things and those things are going to get moved past, you're fine.
I feel like the expectations is one of the best ones to work on, because I was going to say I've had a couple of roommates in my day at apartments, at houses, and I've always found the best way to cope with it is everyone complains like, oh, my roommate ate my lunch, or
Right.
oh, they used my something, right? That's the worst thing. Roommates use your stuff all the time. So what I do is anything that's like really important to my soul, that like if you touch it, I'll be upset with you, I keep it in my room.
There you
Right? And like most roommates are pretty good about not just going right into your room, usually. But if it's in the kitchen, I just assume like it's for everyone.
Right.
It's free game. Don't put it in there unless you're willing to lose all of it.
go. Right.
So I would have said like that's my technique, but that really just comes back to the expectations.
Well, and I think that's a common technique that a lot of people use, and even with me and you guys, I use that. I used to. Like there are times where all of a sudden I'll find like Justin will be wearing one of my a pair of my socks or something like that.
Justin loves socks.
But the thing is, there are times I can't get angry about it because I'm like, okay, well, I did leave them on the floor in your room,
So they're free game.
or like
Yep.
they did end up like I did just throw them in your laundry basket. So it's just like, all right, well that's on me.
I don't think that there's ever an instance where getting mad at a roommate or a family member or just anyone in life, I don't think getting mad at someone ever actually helps the problem.
No, it's all about how you react to things.
What I've found more recently than not is that the thing people really love the most is positivity.
Yes.
Like you could be an idiot, you could be ugly, you could be dumb, you could be you could be all the things that are terrible, okay? But if you're just positive and you always say nice things to people, you always have something to contribute that people want to hear, people will love you for it.
Yep.
They really will. That's all someone wants. I've learned people don't want advice in general. If they do ask for advice, they really just want encouragement. They really want you to tell them their idea is going to work.
What people really desire, and I think just from my own experiences, what's hard to come by is people really just need somebody to vent to.
Yeah.
They don't even necessarily need encouragement or advice from you. They just need to make sure that what they're thinking is out there in the universe and make sure there's somebody who will listen to it.
Well, and how obnoxious is it when you say, oh man, I have like I can't get Google to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then people tell you, oh, well, did you clear your cookies? Did you check your browser? Did you blah, blah, blah? Like, obviously, if it's the first thing that came to your mind, it was probably the first thing that came to my mind, too.
Right.
Like, yes, I've tried all the obvious things.
Well, and a lot of the times...
No one wants to hear that.
Right. Well, and a lot of the times when people exclaim those things, all they're really doing is just they're just trying to let people know, like, hey, I'm frustrated. Here's why. That's just the way that they happen toward it.
Absolutely.
People just want to vent. And we've seen it also with people that nobody's really going to do something unless they want to do it. So
100%.
So I truly believe that 98% of the time when you see somebody, like if you give somebody advice and then all of a sudden they follow that advice, they'll tell you they're following it because you gave them that advice, but really it's something they already thought of and you just... Well, that's the encouragement part.
That's
you
the
just
whole
said,
idea
"Go
behind psychology.
Mm-hmm.
The science of psychology is, reverse psychology, all that. So it's getting people to think your idea is their idea.
Right.
And then they'll follow it with their whole heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm not very good at that. But some people are super good at it.
It's one of those things that has to be treated like an art, and it's almost kind of like a shitty art because you can well,
the art of shit.
But the thing is, there's such a fine line between doing that and being like a manipulative asshole.
That's what I'm saying.
And
yeah,
doing that and still being considered a kind-hearted person.
Yeah, it's tough. I guess it's your intention, right?
Yeah.
If your intention is to like help people, then people are going to view it however they view it. But
right.
You'll feel better about it because you'll know that your intention was good.
Right, exactly. And there are people out there who I feel they feel that they're a very kind person because maybe they do a lot of kind things, but inside they're all doing it just so they can get something out of somebody later. And a lot of the times when that ends up showing, that can just like automatically change somebody's view about somebody. Doesn't matter if they were kind to them for 6 months, but the second they take that kindness and they say, well, I've done this for you, it's like, okay, well.
Oh, well, then it's no longer kindness.
Yeah,
now it's currency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
So
I'm pretty confident that I know something you don't know.
Ooh, what do you know?
Well, I didn't know it until a few days ago.
Ooh.
And I've been on this earth for a good many years.
Okay.
So I thought I knew all the things I was ever going to know. And then I learned something the other day. So I work at a local establishment where we live. And this particular establishment,
excuse me,
serving water is a part of what I do. Okay. So I had a customer come in who was clearly from a foreign land somewhere. Okay. I didn't know exactly where, but she clearly was not from around here.
Right.
Okay. So she comes up and she orders water. So I give her a water like I normally would, which involves putting ice in a cup and then pouring water over it, putting a lid in a straw and handing it to them.
Right.
Sounds pretty typical, right?
Pretty simple.
She was not, she wasn't into that at all.
What?
That's not the way she wanted to do it.
What, she just wanted water with no ice?
Exactly.
Oh.
She wanted just water in a cup, no ice. So my point here, Adam, Europe doesn't use ice. The whole fucking thing doesn't use it. I'm basing that statement off of one encounter that I had with one individual in my own life. She was from where was it? Hungary?
But
Hungary?
wait, did she actually tell you we do not use ice
yes.
where I come
yeah,
from?
So here, I'll finish because I kind of made a leap there. I guess.
I was going to say, you made it sound like, oh, well, a foreigner didn't get ice in her water, so no Europeans use ice.
Here's the thing. So she said where she's from. I'm pretty sure it was Hungary.
Okay.
I think that's Eastern Europe. I'm pretty confident in that.
Okay.
Okay. She said they don't put ice in their drinks. They have it at room temperature. If you want ice, you got to ask for it specifically.
Oh, so it's not that they don't have ice. It's just...
they have the technology.
It's just more typical over there to get serve
Adam,
water without...
I think the whole globe can freeze water. I think
I
everyone
thought
in the
that's
globe
what you were saying. I thought you were saying
it.
that for some reason. They
No.
don't
They have
ice.
the technology. It's a cultural thing. They just don't put ice in their drink. Even soda, like just drinks are room temperature. So,
interesting.
As you guys learned in the first podcast, my mother was born and raised in France, right? So I asked her. I said, "Hey, Mom, is this true?" Okay, my mom's from Western Europe. So I was like, is this just a thing in all of Europe? And my mom was like, well, fuck yeah. You know, when I was a little girl, you don't put ice in your drinks. So nowadays, okay, obviously they put ice in their drinks now. More
Right.
common. But was more common like in the past.
Right.
You know, that she was like, no, you got to ask for ice specifically. It's weird to get ice in your drink. So that made me think the far East Europe, the far West Europe does it. So everyone in between must do it too.
Yeah, I mean, when I try to think of it, I wonder if that's almost the way that these drinks are made to be drunk. Because when you think about it too, when you go to Walmart or something, or
Warm
any kind
Coca-Cola. Come on.
but the thing is, if you go, that's what my point. If you go to a grocery store, they don't ever have the boxes of soda in the fridge. It's
Oh my God, you're right.
It's always outside next to
always
the
room
water.
temperature.
Yeah, it's always room temperature.
I never put that together.
Yeah, so it's like I wonder if
Are we
that's,
all doing it wrong?
Well, America does like to be different in a lot of ways. Some good, some weird.
You just blew my mind, Adam. I always assumed they were at room temperature because you would need there's too much. Like people buy so much soda every day. You gotta have a
No,
whole
I
fucking
think-
aisle of it. But they have freezer aisles.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they really wanted to like freeze.
They make the beer cold.
I was
They
gonna
put the
say
beer
yeah,
in the
they
fridge.
put 12 packs of beers and shit in a freezer.
Oh my God, we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So we have to go back and try all the sodas at room temperature and see what we've been missing.
Oh man, I get that would be kind of weird because you'd still get because I'm used to that anytime I've had a soda that's room temperature, it's because it's already been open and been out for a bit. So then
yeah.
you're just getting flat
usually an
warm
accident.
soda.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever had, or at least can't remember having like fizzy room temperature soda.
Interesting.
Well,
Huh.
mine
My
just got
whole
blown
life.
on that little conversation.
Unfortunately, I don't drink soda anymore.
I don't either.
So I haven't had soda in years.
I
I don't
sips of it now and then. But
I don't think that I'm probably gonna test that. Let us know, guys. That'll be your job. We're gonna put you in charge of that, everyone.
Yeah, just
try some soda at room temperature and let us know what we're missing.
put it down in the comments. Let us know what's going on.
If you really swear by it,
We'll try.
we'll have
it.
Adam try it. I don't drink soda, but we'll have Adam try it.
I could probably. Oh, speaking of soda,
Ooh.
that reminds me.
Okay.
Okay, so somebody told me about a coffee drink
Okay.
that they usually order, and I never heard of this, but I tried it, and it was actually really good. But I think you and a lot of people out there are going to think I'm crazy.
Oh no.
So I can't remember the name of this drink, but he gets a Coca-Cola, a regular Coca-Cola, with squirts of vanilla, and
I'm with
then
you.
2 shots of espresso
Ew.
in it over ice.
Huh?
I had the same reaction.
That sounds horrible.
I had the same reaction. I was like, what the hell is that?
I'm with you up till espresso.
Right.
And I love
Okay.
espresso.
So, and it's specific too. Like you have to pour the espresso really slowly in there because it can really start to foam
It's like a
up.
fucking chemistry
It's like
experiment.
a whole thing, right?
Oh my God.
And then you ice it. It's an iced drink. So I tried this. I tried this drink, and it's actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. So it's weird. The Coca-Cola and the espresso almost cancel each other out.
It
Or
just
they-
tastes like nothing. Tastes like air.
Not even nothing. Like maybe cancel each other out is the wrong term. Like it fuses and creates a new flavor. So you don't taste espresso. You don't taste Coca-Cola. You taste whatever this new flavor is that's been created. And then, but it's not. But because of the espresso, it unsweetens the Coke in a way. Like it cancels out the sweetness. So the pumps of vanilla is in there to sweeten it up again. And it's actually really good. And it's like a crack drink, dude. It wakes you up.
Way to tell the whole world about it, Adam. We could have probably trademarked that and done something with that.
No,
And now we get like 1 million views a day on
No,
these.
no,
Dave.
it already exists. Like it's already a drink that exists. It's like a hipster thing.
Like you could go buy it in the store. I've never seen it.
You can't buy it in the store.
That could have been us.
But I believe it is commonly ordered at coffee shops and like different.
All right, guys.
more-
Well, have a good idea on us. You're welcome. If anyone wants to take that and run with it, you could probably take Starbucks out of business with it.
just take Starbucks out of business. I don't think nobody's gonna take anybody out of business, but I do feel like it'd be cool if all of a sudden we just saw more people ordering it. Well, I think we will actually. I think the whole reason why he knew about it is because it's like just the word is reaching down to other places.
I'm not totally convinced. So here's the thing. I trust you, but I don't believe you.
You don't have to, but you should try. I didn't believe him either. I was like, okay, that just sounds like a you thing. But no, dude, it's a thing. People get to drink, and it's not bad.
Well, you did invent and christen the sugar shot. So, and those are fantastic. For anyone who doesn't know what a sugar shot is, any barista out there knows that you grind the espresso and you put in this little fucking, what do you call it?
A tamper?
A little tamper. Yeah, so it's this little metal thing. You stick it all the grounds in, and then you push down on it. So you make the grounds like a little hockey puck, and you stick it in the espresso machine. Hot water runs through it, right? So what Adam does, what he invented, is he puts the grounds in there.
Like
and I'm
how?
sure there's going to be like 100 people who are like, I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. All right, well, Adam told me about it. He does about half the thing full of grounds of coffee, and he'll take sugar, like sugar in the raw or white sugar or even stevia, and he'll put that on top of it, and then he'll put it in the espresso machine and let the water go through it. And they're sweet shots, guys. They're fantastic.
Well, you have to sandwich it between the espresso.
Oh, you put more espresso on top?
So you do a little bit of espresso, then you do the sugar, and then you do more espresso, and then you tamp it.
Oh, see, I just
then
put the
put
sugar
it
on
in
top when
there.
I tried it, and it turned out good.
I mean, I'm assuming it
Yeah.
probably works that way. That's just the way I've always done it. But yeah, they're nice little sugar shots.
Yeah, they're really good. You can just drink them without any cream or anything.
Still get the
They're just
benefits
good.
of the espresso, and
Yeah.
they're good. Somebody taught that to me, and there's a lot of little things I've learned about coffee and stuff.
We're not
years.
original, guys.
We're not
If you
original.
think we are,
but,
we're not.
but if you want to think we're original, I mean, you can go ahead and keep thinking that. We really appreciate it.
We do non-original things in an original way.
In an original way. It's great. But what is it that I wrote something down earlier? And okay. This is a nice little weird topic thing to end on here. So, would you spend 5 years
5 years.
in the International Space Station in space, obviously,
Oh shit!
for $5 million?
For $5 million, I get paid for it too.
Yeah, 5 years though, and you don't see
that
any of
sounds
that money
amazing.
until you come home, obviously. But
Wow. So would I be an astronaut? Is what you're asking me?
well, I don't
I
think.
feel like that's what astronauts do.
But I don't think the current astronauts even stay up there for 5 years.
No, 5 years is a long fucking
Yeah, I
time,
think they
dude.
stay
I
up
don't
there
think
just
anyone's
months at
done.
a
I think
time.
someone just did a year not too long. Like just
Yeah.
finished a year in
I
space.
think typically it's like 8 months. or
And I
something.
think he didn't come back quite the same. Like brain wise, fine, but I think his bones are fucked up and stuff.
Yeah.
But assuming that health wise, you were able to, let's say we had the technology and you could have a healthy life in space for 5 years, would I go visit
in
space?
close quarters.
In
with,
close quarters.
with cosmonauts. And
Can I
other
go
astronauts.
outside? Is there technology for me to go out of the space station and float around and
Yeah,
stuff?
you could probably do a spacewalk. That's what they're
Spacewalk,
called.
but I can't like shoot off to another star and come back. I have to hang out around the
Yeah,
space
yeah,
station.
like with current technology. This
So-
isn't like the future or anything.
Okay, let me address one thing before I answer this.
Okay.
I'm terrified of space. I'm absolutely
That's what I wanted to ask.
terrified of outer space. I'm also very scared of the ocean. Okay? They're just not my natural habitat. I don't understand them and I fear them.
Okay.
With that being said, I mean, it's such a rare opportunity, dude, that how would you live with yourself if
you
you were
didn't
like,
do it?
no? So the $5 million aside, okay, I would probably take that opportunity for free.
Really?
Even.
I mean, I guess 5 years you'd face your fears, right? You probably wouldn't be scared of space after that.
Oh, in the first 10 minutes, I'm either going to have such an anxiety attack that I die, or I'm going to live through it and find out that it's not that bad and that I am strong and I can do it.
Right.
So other people have done it. Dude, it would be so fantastical. Like, just everything about space is fucking crazy.
It really is, dude.
5 years away from the podcast would be rough. I would miss you guys.
We'll just do it via Skype with you in space. We'll be like, oh, we got Matthew here on the International Space Station coming at you live.
That would be badass. No, I would say that I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I said no, but I would be terrified. I would be hesitant. And I wouldn't want to train very hard.
You just
for
kind
it.
of maybe like a days or
Yeah,
few days
like
training and then get shot up.
I'm the guy who like looks at his lines like an hour before he has to shoot,
Right.
and then gets the gist of it and just does it.
Okay.
That's my personality. I don't know
Okay,
what type that
interesting.
is, but that's what I am.
I mean, as somebody who knows that you're afraid of space, though, I respect that answer.
Thank you.
I think
thank
that's
you.
good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what about you, dude? What do you feel about it?
So I would do it in a heartbeat, and I would
Yeah.
also do it for free just because I love space.
Oh, you love it.
It's so space, you guys. One day we will have a podcast, and Matt and I have had some crazy conversations. We can talk
Oh,
about
dude.
space for hours.
Adam has some pretty intense theories about space that we've actually looked into, and they're plausible.
Yeah, I love astronomy, I love astrophysics. Like I'm somebody who is absolutely horrible at math. Like I count on my fingers for everything. It could be 2 plus 2. I'm gonna use my fingers just to make sure. Okay. But when I took an astrophysics class, or it wasn't specifically a physics class, but you did like very beginning physics stuff in there, I aced the class and I aced all the math stuff because I was applying it to something I love. So like I just to reaffirm that I love space. But that will have to be a conversation for another time.
And I mean, let us know, guys. Is that something you want to hear about? You're going to hear about it either way.
Yeah.
But we want to know if you're excited or not.
You'll like those ones, though. When we get into those ones, it makes for a good time. But well, I think we're a little over an hour here, so we'll end
Oh,
things
wow.
here.
How the time flies
It really
when you're
does,
having fun.
man.
But I don't want to end.
So we'll just tell you, as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel here. You can also be able to check this podcast out on SoundCloud, which we should probably start telling people at the beginning of the podcast, but we'll do that next time. We also want to remind everybody we have a GoFundMe going. It's www.gofundme.com/heartilymillennial. Please don't misspell millennial. A lot of people do that. And remember, just throw some money in the jar if you're willing and able to support us, and we promise to just keep delivering you this content and making it better for you guys.
Yeah, guys. And again, we just want to say we are so thankful for you sticking with us and watching these. And please, guys, just share it with your friends. You know, every single view, God forbid, every subscriber, it helps immensely, guys.
Yeah.
And we just can't thank you enough for the help.
You guys have been great. Thank you so much. And we hope you've enjoyed this podcast.
And with that, we will see you on the next one, guys.
Goodbye. Love you.
Bye.